Hi, this is Sean Weaver with Six String Country, and in this lesson we'll be taking a look at the subject of phrasing, and specifically playing blues guitar, playing lead guitar solos. And I'll be playing a Stratocaster, mostly sticking actually to the middle pickup, and I'm just going right here into a 210 combo with a little bit of overdrive on it, a little bit of tube overdrive on it. And you don't have to play a Stratocaster. You know, I would recommend putting a little bit of overdrive on the lead, however you get that. I recorded the jam along through a different amplifier, little 112 Tweed, with the instrument and microphone channels bridged. And I turned everything up, so I got this sound that made me happy, and mic'd everything up the way I wanted to, and spent some time getting the sound that was in my head. So there's no way that sheer volume levels alone, I'm not going to get the same sound here that is on the jam along. But the essence of it is I'm just playing a Stratocaster with a little bit of overdrive out of the amplifier. And it's 12 times, it's a 12-bar blues, but it's only 6 times through the progression. And the first time I'll be just showing you what happens when you don't think, after you spend some time with internalizing these concepts and listening to great players and learning great licks. And then, because the subject itself can be a bit ambiguous and also scary, it can just scare folks out going, well, what is good phrasing, what's bad phrasing, how do I learn it? And so I wanted to give you some real concrete direction, and so I'm going to give you 5 concrete examples. So we're going to go through the progression 6 times. First time I'll just play, and then the following 5 times I'm going to give you each 12-bar cycle will be an individual concept, and we'll build this together. So it's going to be 5 concepts you can take and implement into your practicing and into your playing right now. Even if the solo that I played in particular, you don't know about maybe learning that, or you want to just use the concepts to work on your own solos, that's great. I encourage you to do that, whether you learn the solo I played or not. But these are concepts that you can work with immediately, and they're good concepts. So we're going to go ahead and get into that, and again, keeping everything manageable in 12-bar cycles. So I'll be sticking to the Stratocaster, and also there's a rhythm guitar on this that mostly kind of just doubles the bass line. We'll explore more of these in detail, and we get a full lesson on rhythm guitar coming up later in this series. But I'll also be showing you the basics of what I was playing as a supportive rhythm guitar track, and we'll go ahead now and get into the lesson. Rhythm guitar part is mostly a bunch of repetition with there may be a few little variations in there, but I sat there and transcribed exactly from my soloed rhythm guitar track exactly what I did. So I'm going to show you the gist of it, and we're going to go through the first 12 bars together. So that's the pattern for the E chord. So I'm not doing that. It's sort of born out of that, but I am playing different notes and they're single notes, so. Okay, and then we go to the A chord and be in measure 2, but the pattern, it's the same. I just move it down a set of strings, or up a set of strings, however you want to think of that. So it's 5th string twice, and then 4, 5th string again, 2. So it's the same fret numbers, okay? It's just on the 4th string now. It's on the 5th and 4th strings instead of the 6th and 5th strings. So it's, and on the back half of the measure, it's slightly changed. It's because I'm going back to E. So I go 5, 4, and I go back down then through 2, on the downbeat of measure 3. That's the E note. That's how I get home to the E chord. And then you're back on the E7 again, and it goes on. So that's the whole part. Now we'll go ahead and play it with the metronome. 1, 2, 3, 4. So as we said briefly in the introduction, the whole subject of phrasing, particularly being guitar players, is a little bit ambiguous, but we know when it's there, when we hear it, when we hear good phrasing, phrasing we like, sometimes when we hear phrasing we don't like, and communicating that and getting that across and the sound coming out of your guitar, which all phrasing is really trying to get your guitar to have more of a vocal component along with vibrato and other aspects that we incorporate into playing the blues. And so for the first 12 bars of this concept was that I wasn't really thinking, which is where we want to arrive with studying phrasing. So that lick is, again, it's like another B.B. King kind of lick. So you got to push the string up, get it in tune. We talk about that in the bending video, getting your pre-bends in tune. There are techniques and practice techniques you can work on to get your bends totally in tune every time, where you can trust it, where you push the string up and you know you're going to be at the pitch you want to be at. But I, at this point, have internalized that mostly, and so it's step and a half, then release, and then back to the 10th, back to the 12th, back to the 9th. And if you're wondering why pre-bend at all if there's no bend up and I'm not like even releasing, it's just because of the tension. A pre-bent note sounds different than a fretted note. If I do, that sounds a lot different than, and it's just, it's got some tension to the sound, and we want that. So much of blues is tension and release. Great blues guitar playing, there's always some tension, and then there's always, it resolves. So then that's measure 3 in your sheet music, and on the back side of it, on the end of beat 4, just hit the 12th fret on the E string and slide down. There's like no more quintessential B.B. King nod than that. I mean, B.B. did that all the time. Now we come to the last chorus of the cycle I played through the 12-bar blues, and it's the last concept that I wanted to get across. So now we've been through just a simple, poetic, simple nursery rhyme form. You can ease into this with that stuff. The Mary Had a Little Lamb approach. We've been through call and response and conclusion. We've been into developing call and response and conclusion with some chordal hits and some guitar licks. And we've gone into extending that further with call and response, and then kind of doubling up a conclusion in the middle of that phrase, and then call and respond again, conclude again, and our turnarounds are now introduced in there. So we got all these phrasing ideas now, and now we get to the last concept, and by now we've already done this intuitively. You could look at some of the licks we've played and some of the phrases we played and fit them to this particular concept, but it's just one more thing to be aware of. 4th string, 9th fret, 3rd string, 12th fret, 3rd string, and then up 2 steps, and it's in rhythm. It's like a slow bend. It's like 1E is the rhythm, and it's 12 back there, bend up a half step, 9, 11, 4th string, 9, 3rd string, 11, 4th string. So it's just that again. And then back to the 12th, push it up 2 steps again, and then 12 again, half, 9, 11, and now we're onto a call again. But I'm new in Chicago, I ain't got nowhere else to go. So that's just here. That's the phrase. And here's the last solo to tempo. 1, 2, 3.